Alright guys, here's an update on that mallard duck that we put in the other day. It's been a little over 24 hours, and as you can see, the beetles have pretty much cleaned the whole thing out. There's very small amount of material left on here and inside the cranium, so we're just going to let that sit one more night. We don't have anything else tonight to put in here. I'll have a beaver tomorrow that I'm doing for some guy, so that's when we'll take this out. The bottom jaw was done, so I went ahead and started to degrease that, and I've just put that, like I said, in acetone. You'll be able to see real clearly why I like these beetles as opposed to boiling them with all the fine bones I was talking about in the previous video. These disc-like bones in here are the bones that are found inside the eye of birds, and they're real delicate, and the beetles got all the material off of that without eating away at any of that bone, so it looks for a nicer display piece when you get those eye bones wired back in the sockets. This long bone here is the bottom jaw of that female mallard, and it is degreasing in this acetone. Over here we have the cream I was talking about, and you can see another mallard skull kind of poking through there, so it's whitening pretty good. That's been in there probably a little over 24 hours. And I just took out those two turkey skulls I showed you guys yesterday, and I degreased them in acetone, so when I take them out I like to let all the acetone evaporate before I put it in the peroxide, because you do not want to mix peroxide and acetone. Apparently it's a bad chemical combinations, and I just took their word for it because that didn't sound like a fun experiment to me. So to speed this process up along a little bit, I have a heat lamp a little bit farther away from the acetone, so it'll evaporate faster. When I'm finished this video, these will be ready to whiten, and they came out pretty good. As you can see, all the little spaces in here have been eaten out. Tons of fine bones in there that would just fall off. When you boil them, the beaks will fall off, and those are some really awesome beaks, so I try to keep stuff like that in there. This is one of those videos where I'm going to attempt to kill two birds with one stone. If you're only interested in the beetles, tune out now, but if you like fishing and alcohol, this is going to be a good little trick for you. What we have here are 3 different wine corks, and I'm going to show you how to make some really cheap and effective bobbers out of them. Some guys like to, well, not some guys, I'm probably the only guy that does this, but sometimes I like to put a polyurethane coat over them, but it'll be fine. So any of your local bars will probably have a ton of extra corks lying around. I'm sure any of you guys that enjoy your wine will have some extra corks. And if I can get this to stop sliding. Alright. What you want to look for in your bobber corks is a finer grain compression, I guess it would be, particle compression, because it holds the eye screw better, which is what you're going to put the line through. Show you how to do that in a minute. It just grips better than this stuff because it's got bigger holes and it'll just slip out easier. So it's pretty simple. You just put the eye screw in the cork, twist it up, and I've actually made poppers with just these eye screws. A lot of people are worried about it slipping out, but if you try this, you'll see you get it all the way down in there. You can pull as hard as you want, and that will not come out of there. Whatever it is about those corks. And these are also great because you don't have to worry about all those little springs and pushing them down and getting the line through. For demonstration purposes, I have a thicker piece of line from probably like 1930 from an old reel. You just take your main line, make a loop, and press it down so it's small enough to fit through here. You're going to thread that loop through this eye screw, and then you're going to have this here. Just swing it through, pull tight, and your bobber is on your line. You can put that at any depth you want, and these float real well, and they're real responsive. So I like these if I'm ever running out of plastic bobbers. And good thing about these are sometimes when you're fishing in cover, you got a lot of rocks around or logs, your bobbers will crack. They'll just hit one little piece of, even if you cast them a lot, they will crack and leak, and then you're just going to have a useless piece of plastic. And I just don't have time for that with as much fishing as I do. With these, to take them off, it's pretty simple. You just, as you can probably see how that went through, all you got to do is get your thumb in there, push the other way, and it'll slide out pretty easy. It's easier with monofilament. This is braid, so it's a little tougher, but it'll come through. And it's real easy to make a whole bunch of these. I mean, these corks are free. These eye screws, you can pick up a pack about probably 100 for a couple bucks. So if you got nothing to do, you can try that out and see how it works. Alright guys.